Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Sagittarius energy, and like usual on this channel, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Sagittarius energy. Could be just when you have hope and faith and belief in your dreams and you're feeling, more bold and brave and confident within yourself. And the bottom row is going to be, could be just called our shadow nature. It could be when you don't have hope and faith and belief in yourself. Some people are struggling within themselves. When we're going to make a decision to live our life differently, we're going to have to detach from some old ways of being, thinking, or perceiving about ourselves. And we might have to distance ourselves from some people in our life. And that can be hard. But there is going to be some people who are definitely on the high path row because they went through some things in their life and they just can't live their life the way they've lived it before. They've come into some truth or understanding that things have to change, and they have no interest in living their life the way that they've lived it before. And then there's people in the world who've definitely decided they're not going to do life any differently than they're currently doing it, and maybe never will. The shadowy row is can be more about being aligned with staying in our comfort zone or making our life more about the world, being more motivated and inspired by our ego, by our fear, by our lust, by our greed, or our lazy nature. And high vibe energy is about having hope and faith and belief in love and in your dreams and not wanting to feel limited and oppressed and restricted and confined and, because our shadow nature is represented by the devil. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? I think I'm just going to take those as they didn't want to come out since they were flipped in reverse. So, let's see. Oh, and whether you're a Sagittarius sun sign or not, we all tap into Sagittarius energy. And just listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story, how you harness your Sagittarius energy, and how you intuitively feel based on the story of how other people harness their Sagittarius energy to figure out where you're at in relation to other people in your life. Okay. And we'll turn down the camera. Okay. So, the reason for the reading in the top row is the King of Wands. It could have been someone you worked with or someone you were in a relationship with, wanted to marry, or were married to, because this is also the reason why the reading came out. Some people are in a relationship or a workplace right now where someone seems to be more focused on the past than maybe putting in work and effort to be more independent, to face their fears and insecurities, to look at life from a higher perspective, to deal with their own inner conflict, to have good boundaries, and to emotionally mature themselves. And if it was at a job, some of you could decide that relationship, even though you might have liked it, or that job, it was too toxic, and you listened to your intuition, and you stood up for yourself, decided to believe in yourself, and you could have taken action to go get in a different job or a different relationship. The reason for the reading in the bottom row is non-life-giving energy of Scorpio. And up here, the King of Wands, regardless of what had happened, you're transforming that energy to be more bold and brave and confident within yourself, listening to your intuition, investing in knowing your worth and value, growing and maturing yourself, dealing with your own fears and insecurities. And some of the people in the world or in your life that aren't going to move forward with you right now aren't willing to do that, because the Scorpio Death card talks about, are we willing to emotionally detach from people in our past that, we might love, that we might be motivated and inspired by, or, our more me nature. Instead of emotionally growing and maturing ourselves, some people aren't interested in emotionally growing and maturing themselves. Part of that, the Kings in Tarot talk about taking action in the world. And the King of Wands is kind of about what we're motivated and inspired by. And we all take action in the world in masculine energy because we can all present ourselves in the world whatever way we want. You know, we present ourselves as a loving person, a just person, a truthful person. But the queens tell us the truth of who people are emotionally, internally. And you could have dealt with some people in your life who are unwilling to emotionally grow and mature themselves or be a more nurturing person. A shadowy King of Wands Aries energy can be someone, and you don't have to have been dealing with an Aries sun sign. Everybody harnesses these energies in high vibe, worldly wise, or shadowy. But shadowy Aries is more about themselves. I don't want to have to learn lessons in life. I don't want to emotionally grow and mature myself. I want what I want, and I want to do life exactly the way I've always been doing it. They're not willing to put an end to old ways of being to give birth to something new. The Death card is about emotionally detaching from old ways of being that we might like, but there's nothing new to learn there. We've been doing that for a long time. Nothing new is growing, living our life like that. But they're unwilling to detach from that way of being to move forward in life and give birth to something new. Unwilling to detach from maybe thinking life should be all about them. And when those type of people get in a relationship with people, it's supposed to be all about me. My wants, my needs, my lust, my greed, my pride, my ego. I don't want to change. And if you, whether you're male or female, if emotionally you've kind of grown and matured yourself and you've detached from some more of these more shadowy ways of being, which can just be fear and insecurities and whatever, and past pain and heartbreak, they don't want to do that. You know, people in the King of Wands, you have to be inspired to want to grow and mature yourself, to grow to your full potential. And some people are like, I'm good. The first card here in the high vibe row is the Nine of Cups. And that talks about walking away from your illusions and your fears and your insecurities to love yourself and believe in your dreams. But you have to offer yourself that cup of love to walk away from your fears and your insecurities, to step out of your comfort zone, put an end to the old ways of being, to step forward in a new way. I have hope and faith and belief in my dreams. And part of doing that with the devil, you got to face your fears and your insecurities. And you have to learn to love yourself, because our shadow nature that we can't get rid of, is represented by the devil. We have our fears, we have our insecurities, we have our self-limiting beliefs, we have our more immature, indulgent, I want everything my way nature. Well, are we going to let that stop us from growing to our full potential and being all we can be and emotionally growing and maturing ourselves? Some people are saying, no, I'm not going to let my fears and insecurities or other people in my life who might have turned their back on me, that I might love and might have liked to invest in, if they're acting in a shadowy way and turning their back to me, well, then they're acting in shadowy energy. High vibe energy is people who align with truth and love and justice and fairness. We got to see the truth that sometimes some people have that option and they decide, nope, I'm not going to do that. I have an idea. I'm going to turn my back on them. I bet that loving person in the Nine of Cups will get in their ego and their fear and their insecurity. And in the Seven of Swords, it'll cause them a lot of mental conflict that I'm choosing to indulge in my shadowy ways of being. And I'm kind of being deceptive and manipulative about it. I'm not speaking my truth. I'm not taking action in truth. And sometimes people who don't want to change, don't want to grow and mature themselves, but they don't want to tell you that. So instead, they go about things in a shadowy way to confuse you, get you in your ego, get you in your competitive nature, and cause all this confusion so that you will keep offering them love and maybe turn your back on your own inner conflict and having good boundaries and like standing up for yourself. And they're like, perfect. And you might have someone, who communicates with you, who communicates to you that they'd like to. Well, some people I think are turning their back to you, whether they're male or female. There's some people who like to be the boss. That's what Aries energy can be about. I want to be the boss. You've emotionally grown and matured yourself. You've dealt with your inner conflict. Five of Wands, you've learned to have good boundaries within yourself. You've kind of wrapped your brain around this game of life. High Vibe Sagittarius is about higher education and learning lessons in life to get out of your maybe more codependent nature, to stand up and believe in yourself. You've gotten out. You're no longer operating from your more egoic nature. That could have been the foundation you were operating from before, because the Five of Wands to the Nine of Wands means a Four of Wands. Something happened in a foundation of a home, in a workplace, in a friendship, and within yourself. And you're no longer, your foundation of self, of the Four of Wands, is no longer who you used to be. You've changed. The fives talk about change. You're not who you used to be. You have kind of wrapped your brain around this game of life. You did do the work to love yourself, deal with your own fears, your own insecurities, your own thinking about your dreams, because the Seven of Swords is Aquarius energy, and you've listened to your intuition and you've offered love. It's kind of like connecting in with emotionally nurturing your own inner child nature that has hope and faith and belief, to offer love to your kind of maybe worldly nature that would like to indulge in the things you'd like to indulge in, because this also represents you. There's a part of you that there's people in your past or ways of living your life that you would like to take action towards, maybe. But if you were to do that, you'd kind of be deceiving yourself, is what the Seven of Swords talks about. You'd be moving away from your more bold, brave, confident, emotionally nurturing nature of self. And you'd kind of be getting caught up in your head, not wanting to see the truth, that part of what you want to go indulge in, or the people you want to go indulge in, aren't aligned with love. And it would be kind of about, the Nine of Cups talks about indulgence. So I think if you've had some people who either aren't in your life right now, but you could have made a gesture to them saying, you know what? I've learned to love myself, to overcome some of my fears and insecurities, to believe in my dreams. I'm moving forward in life. I'm harnessing high vibe Aries, high vibe Taurus. I've learned some lessons in life. I've learned how to love and believe in myself. I would like to be in an emotionally mature workplace and relationship. And you made an offer to some people in your life, maybe a Pisces, a Capricorn, and an Aquarius, or just people who you view as people who might be kind of indulging in the world right now. Some of them could just be your own adult children. Like, hey, I have hope and faith and belief in my dreams. Do you want to come with me? I love you, but I'm not going to indulge you if you're going to be like selfish or greedy or bossy or controlling. I acknowledge you have your own life to live. And if that's, you got to go learn life the hard way, I wish you peace. Hope you make it. But if it's more of a romantic relationship, You might feel like there's someone that you know that maybe didn't listen to their intuition. And they could have gotten themselves maybe in something. I would think you view them as a loving person. But we can all know loving people who kind of get caught up in the world. The devil can represent the world, kind of getting caught up in the ego and the image and the status and wanting to be in a relationship and all that. And kind of where it is kind of indulging in those things. But, you know, again, is someone manipulating you? Is someone kind of indulging in a relationship with you? Were you tempted by people? You know, the devil talks about people who have those things of the world that you want. And that can just be, you know, I hadn't learned to love and believe in myself enough that I got myself in a relationship. You know, and I kind of might be kind of indulging in it and just caught up in the illusion of the world. And you could have reached out to someone and said, hey, you know, is this everything that you want? If it's not, I'm looking to get in a relationship. But it's not going to be that. I've already been there and done that. It has to be, you know, an emotionally mature relationship. You have to be more independent of your ego nature. And you need to face your fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs. And you need to look at life from a higher perspective and be willing to be authentic and vulnerable and bold and brave enough to love. And if they're not, you know, I think right now you could be waiting to see if some people are willing to do that. And when it starts to be where, you know, are they coming with or not in the Five of Wands? Like, are they coming or aren't they? You know, there comes a point in time where it's like, well, I guess if they're not coming with, then I guess they're not the people that I was meant to be in a relationship with, because God has a plan for my life and God knows where they're at in their life and what lessons they have to learn in life. And if they're not the people that I'm supposed to be in a relationship with, well, then I need to move on. In Sagittarius energy again of, you know, life's an adventure to be lived. I'm going to take the lesson I've learned. And even though I would have liked them to move forward with me and I have to move forward without them, which could make me feel a little left out in the cold, I'm going to keep moving forward and I'm going to go take a leap of faith and go on a new journey to give birth to a brand new beginning, because I've healed and I know my worth and value and I have a dream. And I want to work together with people who are enlightened to the truth, who want to do equal give and take. But in order for me to do equal give and take with people, they have to be willing to let go of what they were holding on to, or old ways of viewing life, or being caught up in the illusion of the world, to be more balanced, to work together with me cooperatively. And if they're not the ones, I'll go find the people who are, because I have a dream. Now, I think as you're moving forward in your life, some of those people, you know, when the card is facing that direction, people can be tempted to go in that direction and kind of go back to their comfort zone or their fear or their insecurity. But I think there will be some people, and even if it's not people directly in your life, there's other people in the world going through this, and there'll be other people that work through their mental confusion of like, oh my gosh, am I bold and brave enough to know my worth and value, to deal with my own inner conflict, to stand up for myself, and maybe wish peace to some people in my life who would like me to be in a relationship with them, but that would be me indulging and staying in a relationship with them out of my own fear, my own insecurity, my own codependency, or my more immature, indulgent, lustful, greedy nature. And, you know, the devil means that We have some hard lessons to learn because we haven't chosen to love and believe in ourselves yet. And there's some people, even if they're not the people in your life, there's other people in the world that are like, I've already been there and done that, and I got burned. And I'm going to have some hope and faith and belief to detach and wish peace to some of those people. And I'm going to keep moving forward. And I'm going to go on an adventure. I'm going to detach from those people that are still clinging to that old way of being where there's nothing new to be learned there. And I'm going to take a leap of faith to give birth to a brand new beginning. And I'm going to do the work to love myself and believe in myself. The Empress energy talks about emotionally where people have done the work and effort within themselves to get balance within themselves. So they're not indulging people who are maybe trying to manipulate and control them about and confuse them about the truth. They could have people in their life that, oh, you should come over here. It'll all be great. You'll have everything you'd ever want in the world. Your dreams will come into reality. Because that's kind of like what the devil says, right? People who really don't have our best interests at heart. People who don't want us to love and believe in ourselves, to grow to our full potential. Because if they wanted to come with us, they would have to wish peace to some things in their past and detach from it and old ways of being. And they'd have to put in the work and effort to emotionally grow and mature themselves and detach from some old ways of being and put in the work to get more balanced within themselves, to detach from some of those ways of being. And they don't want to do that. So it's kind of like, no, you should come back here and hang out with us. It'll be great. It'll be everything you ever wanted. But the Seven of Swords in shadow means that they're trying to confuse people about the truth. I don't want you to see the truth that I have my own fears and insecurities and lust and greed or bossy or controlling or manipulative ways of being. And I want to indulge in a relationship with you. I want you to indulge me in my ego or something. I don't want you to have your dreams come into reality. Because I don't want to do that work to come with you. I want you to stay here and think that this will be everything you wanted. The only thing is, it's not going to be love. And it's maybe not going to be just and fair. And the people maybe won't act with character and integrity. And they might try to manipulate and control you. And they might be kind of harnessing shadowy Sagittarius energy, which is they never wrap their brain around this game of life to grow and mature themselves. And it's all about you indulging them or them indulging you for you to stay. Maybe because they want the money or the status or the image, or they want you to indulge them for the money or the status or the image. But they don't ever plan to see the truth that is supposed to be about love and justice and fairness and balance and acting with character and integrity. But we can have everything. By worldly standards, we'll look like we got it all. Why put in the work and effort? Just do this. It's just that it's an illusion. You don't ever grow and mature yourself. You're not facing your fears and insecurities. Nothing new to be learned there. It's like dead energy. It's just indulging in the ego or the fear or the codependency or the addiction, And so I think there will be other people in the world like you who say, you know what? I could love you. I could wish you could come forward with me. But if you're still limited and restricted and confined and imprisoned in the devil card by whatever it is that imprisons you and restricts you and confines you, if that's your own fear, if that's your own ego, don't want to grow up and mature yourself, like to maybe be bossy and controlling, like to try to manipulate people, whatever, you're going to have to go find someone else to hang out with. I'm moving on. I wish you peace. Some of you already did that in a relationship. Some of you reached out to some new people to see if they wanted to move forward with you. And if they're not, I think because it's been causing you some inner conflict in the Nine of Wands, to wait to see if they're going to move forward with you. The truth sets us free. We can live in illusion and confusion and inner conflict and defensiveness. But eventually, we've got to listen to our intuition. And if our intuition is like, they are where they're at, everybody's got to win this battle within themselves. And sometimes the best thing we can do is keep showing people that I'm not going to let negative energy hold me back, or other people that aren't being just and fair and loving hold me back. And maybe when they see you do that, and they see you moving forward, maybe that's when they'll do this work, because it's like, damn, they moved forward. Damn, they moved on. Damn, they're going to give birth to a new beginning. Then they might start doing that work to come with, because they don't want to be left behind. If we keep indulging people in their poor behavior, they have no incentive to change. When we have good boundaries, it's like, I'm not doing this anymore. If you're more about yourself, or you're more motivated by the world or money or materialism or ego or indulging in the world, and you have inner conflict about having good boundaries within yourself to treat people in a just and fair manner, I see the truth. People show us by their actions that they take what motivates and inspires them. And some people aren't motivated and inspired to have good boundaries to their more immature Sagittarius energy. No. Let's be defensive. Let's be in our ego. Let's invest in the world and make it all about us. I want. And I don't want to have good boundaries. I don't want to be in relationships with other people that want me to have good boundaries. I'll let you go. You can go on a journey and give birth to a new beginning, because I'm unwilling to change, So that's where it's like, don't live in denial. The people who are motivated and inspired, if they had done the work to free themselves, some of those people aren't seeing the truth. They don't realize that this isn't going to turn out the way they think it's going to. And they think it'll just be their dream come true. And I think it's going to turn bad, because when we take action more out of fear, insecurity, lust, greed, pride, ego, we're planting bad seeds, right? We're not taking action in truth and love, or we're indulging somebody who's shadowy and they're not willing to detach from those people. Well, guess what? It's probably going to get a lot worse, because they don't want to see the truth about what they're aligning with within themselves, and then therefore the people they're aligning with in their life. And those people are happy that they're not loving and believing in themselves. And when they know that these people don't see the truth, oh, you don't see I'm kind of manipulating you. Perfect. Oh, you don't love and believe in yourself? Perfect. So I can do a lot more shit in this relationship to indulge myself, be more deceptive and manipulative, and you don't want to leave? Perfect. You're my kind of person. Let's get married. So some of you just had somebody leave your life because they're much more, have illusions about love for some people. The Nine of Cups and Pisces energy, and in the King of Wands, people have these illusions about love. Can't I get in a relationship? It's more about me. I don't have to emotionally grow and mature myself. I thought, I would make an offer to someone, a small offer, a small gesture, give very little of myself emotionally. I thought I'd go find someone in the world who's like a loving, nurturing person who hasn't learned to believe in themselves and believe in their dreams, and maybe I could get in a relationship with them and they would make their life all about me. Let's put in work and effort to have the status and the image and the money, and you being in my life makes it look like I have my dreams coming into reality, but I never plan to grow or mature myself. And I want you not to love yourself and deal with your own inner conflict. I want you to keep making your life all about me. And some of you are in a relationship with someone like that, and you're like, I thought this relationship was going to grow and mature itself. I thought we were going, just like relationships do, where it doesn't stay the same and where it's all about the world or the ego or the image or whatever. I thought it was supposed to be about love. And eventually, some of you got out of relationships like that. And then, like I say, you could have made an offer to someone else. Some of you are... I wonder how high vibe we could look at the devil. Well, as you move forward in your life, after some of you have moved on and made offers to some other people, and continuing, I think, in high vibe, you'd offer love and encouragement to people in the world who might kind of not be wanting to see the truth. I think that would be an ongoing thing of yours, because it's kind of like high vibe energy represented by God, not like you're God, but, it would be to love and encourage people, to help them deal with their own inner conflict, to have good boundaries within themselves, to detach from holding on to these old ways of being, to love and believe in themselves. And there could be some people in the world that see you doing that in the King of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles, and they see that you're someone who does that in the world. And as you keep moving forward in your life, being bold and brave and a good friend, the Queen of Pentacles would be someone emotionally who's like a good employee, a good friend, a good relationship partner, a good business person, because you're an emotionally mature person. You don't act out of pettiness and envy and jealousy and whatever, There's other people in the world who see you being that way, where you have that hopeful, believing nature to temper your own kind of shadowy nature, to keep moving forward, having good boundaries in yourself, moving forward. And there's other people that would want to be in a relationship with you. And then you just have to listen to your intuition, because we live in a world of duality. You can do this or you can do that. And I think there will be different people who will be attracted to you. Some of them were in relationships already with people who wanted them to grow up and mature, and they had inner conflict with that. So they're thinking of letting those people go, and now they think they're going to come get in a relationship with you. Oh, look, they seem to be have that hopeful, innocent nature. Maybe they're naive and gullible. And you might say, oh, no, I've already met people like you before. I wish you peace, but I'm moving on. I'm looking for the more emotionally mature people. And then you might also meet people like that in the world who are like, oh, wow, I see that they're not being deceived by the selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical people. They're not being tempted by their worldly nature to want to look like a shining star, to look like I had a victory, or, just indulge. It's like you're really looking for an emotionally mature relationship, and other people see that you don't indulge in that. And, those people right now in the Five of Wands could have some inner conflict, because they're kind of defensive of communicating with you, but they know, and some of them could have kept kind of moving on in their life thinking, oh, no, I'm sure, whatever. But then they realize I'm a fool, and some of those people might come back and make you an offer, because they see that you are not high vibe Seven of Swords, as you're holding on to your dreams and listening to your intuition, and you're not going to move forward with just any old person in the world who makes an offer towards you. It's like, no, I'm going to get to know you, and I'm going to find out if you have good boundaries or not, and I'm going to have good boundaries, so I, in my Knight of Wands Sagittarius energy, don't rush into a relationship too fast, because I've already dealt with people who are indulgent and deceptive and manipulative, and I'm going to have good boundaries to find out the truth of who you are. And if I find out that you are someone who also has good boundaries, who's also kind of offered love to your more shadowy ways of being, and you're ready to detach from that and people in your past to go on a new journey of love, well, then I'll go on a journey with you. So that could be coming up for some of you who have already gotten out of a relationship. Some of the people who are just getting out of it, I think those people are maybe going to have to do some work within themselves, because, you know, we all like to deal with the devil we know, to face the devils we don't know. It's kind of like, the way I look at it is like the video games, you know, back in the day when you played like Donkey Kong or Mario Brothers, and you had to get through all the different obstacles to get to the next level, and then you could fall through the hole and go back all the way down to the bottom or down to the next level. You know, it takes time. You know, if we were emotionally invested in someone before, we're emotionally complex human beings, and it takes time in the Five of Wands to deal with our inner conflict. And when we move away from those people, we do go through a period of feeling left out in the cold, and we have to discipline ourselves not to give in to, oh my gosh, but this would be like so much easier. It's like, yeah, but it was hell. Do we really want to go back to hell? We already did see the truth of them, you know? And if we were in a relationship and we were loving and encouraging and supportive and all that thing during all that time to try to get them to move forward with us, and they kept saying they would, but they never did, you know, they showed us that they don't have good boundaries within themselves, and they always give in to their more immature or shadowy way of being. That is like, nope, I'm going to keep moving forward. And some, you know, you and other people in the world could kind of go on this journey kind of in parallel lives. And when you're both ready to go on the journey and emotionally ready to give birth to something new, boom, you know, you bump into them somewhere, you know, a gas station or a grocery store, or get in a car accident. Who knows? Anyway, let's jump down to the bottom row. So, you know, another thing about this story up here is sometimes people get in a relationship and they move forward in the relationship and they think it's all going to go well, and then they find out that the person they were in a relationship with kind of harnessed some shadowy Sagittarius energy, and they weren't willing to detach from some of their old ways, people in their life. They weren't willing to go on a new journey in love because, you know, sometimes people don't even really know within themselves. They think, oh no, I'm willing to do love. I'm willing to move forward in life. But when it really gets to be where they really have got to detach from some old ways of maybe it being more about them, you know, but I want to be free to do whatever I want. Or they did have this kind of more shadowy view of life where I'd rather get in a relationship with people that have fear and insecurity and don't believe in themselves, and then I can just indulge in a relationship with them. If I move forward with these people, I'd really be putting myself out there to be vulnerable to being hurt. And some people really, you know, some people can't imagine not doing a relationship based on love. And other people are like, you know, I'll have sex with people. I think I'll be good. You know, I'd rather give up love where I get hurt, and I'll just go have sex with people. And to boot, if they got money in the Capricorn card, better yet. Or if they're more codependent and they will keep investing in me and they never deal with their own inner conflict and they don't have good boundaries, perfect. I get to keep indulging in a relationship and it's really all about me. And then I don't grow to my full potential, but oh well. I'll watch other people grow to their full potential and be in relationships with people who challenge them to grow and mature themselves. And I think in the end, I don't think they're going to be very proud of themselves. So, but some people got in relationships with people where it didn't work out, is what I was starting to say. And those people felt left out in the cold. And instead of moving forward and giving birth to something new and like healing and getting balance within themselves, some of those people went back and kind of repeated an old pattern. So that's why some of you might know someone who you might feel is a more loving, nurturing person in the world, but because they maybe didn't love and believe in themselves enough, you could think that maybe they went back to kind of repeat an old pattern. And that's why you could have reached out to them. Did you kind of repeat an old pattern where there's nothing new to learn there? Do you want to come with? And some of those people will, and some of those people won't. And I think you're about ready to. I think with the King of Wands, people have to take action. People can't wait forever. And eventually, I think you're going to move on if they don't take action. Okay, so then down here, we can have some people who really never were people who are on board with love. It's just try to present themselves as like a high vibe person so they can indulge in a relationship and look like a shining star in the world. Look, oh my gosh, I got this loving, nurturing person, this helpful, believing person, this just and fair person, this person who isn't petty and envious and jealous and manipulative. Damn, this is awesome. Well, for some of those people, they did have some people move away from them, and some of those people are going to have some people right now move away from them. It's kind of like, peace, I'm moving on, I'm done. The dream I see is not going to come into reality with you. And some of the people were really harnessing shadowy Sagittarius energy. It's more about being defensive to love. I could get hurt doing that. On top of it, I might not like to be just and fair in a relationship. I might like the scales tipped in my favor where people kind of indulge me and it's more about me in a relationship. And they start out with the Three of Cups, which is I use my emotions manipulatively in a relationship. And I don't harness high vibe Cancer energy. I'm not about working together. I don't operate from a foundation in myself from a place of love. I've put an end to that. Sadly, I'm manipulated by my shadow nature, my fear, my insecurity, my defensiveness, my more immature, indulgent, lustful, greedy, prideful nature. And I try to hide from the world that people who were high vibe, who harnessed this energy, have left my life. King of Cups. People who really did this. I also view the King of Cups as Cancer energy. The people who really did take action in truth and love, those people have left my life because I use my emotions manipulatively to try to get what I want in a relationship. And I hide from the people I get in a relationship with that I harness this energy in a shadowy way. I'm operating more from my ego, and I present myself as like a loving family person to you and the people in the world. Isn't that good enough? Doesn't that make you happy that I present myself as being that to you in the world? Isn't that what you wanted? Somebody who it seemed like you could have your dreams come into reality? The only thing is I'm operating more from my ego. I'm emotionally defensive. I'm not authentically being myself in the relationship. It's kind of like you're dating my cardboard cutout persona. My ego runs my life. My true authentic nature hides inside. I use my emotions manipulatively. And I'm defensive to believing in my dreams. In my Sagittarius energy, I don't want to wrap my brain around this game of life. I think I can use my emotions manipulatively, live more from my mind than my heart. I think I'm smart enough to figure out how to manipulate people, create this illusion about who I am, so that I can get the things that I want in the world without really having to be bold and brave and creative in my Aries energy. I have a dream and I want to do my life like that. That's my dream. Because I want to turn my back on dealing with my own fears, insecurities that have me up in my head, that cause me a lot of mental inner conflict, and that manipulate me and stop me from putting an end to being like this and transforming my life. I would have to work. I'd have to put in work to work through all those fears and insecurities and all those things I got in my head about why don't I love myself? Why don't I offer love to all my fears and insecurities that have me up in my head? Some people, because other relationships didn't work out, did put them up in their head and could have put them in their ego and caused them a lot of fear and insecurity about trusting other people. But the whole thing is, the truth sets us free. And these people weren't seeing the truth. They're really stressed out, maybe about love. There's a maximum of 10 in every suit, and this is the 9. So if you're 9 swords up in your head, you're up in your head about that one couple love in your heart. Do people love me? Can I trust other people? I got in relationships before and it didn't work out. Well, we need to see the truth. Why didn't it work out? How did we contribute to that relationship maybe not working out? What is the truth about the people we were dating? Did we have loving people in our life that we could have moved forward with? But are we still trying to get people to acknowledge our worth and value? People who indulge in the world, who might have status and image and money, are we still trying to get those people to acknowledge our worth and value when maybe they're not people who are authentically loving? Was our own judgment clouded and we thought some people would be loving, but they're not? Are they kind of more indulgent? Are they kind of more self-centered or prideful or egotistical or self-centered or materialistic? And if there was someone else they could go get, if we get in relationships with people who aren't really motivated by love or have some growing up to do or they're immature or whatever, we have to see that truth. Just admit, they were kind of immature and impulsive. They lack self-discipline. They kind of indulge themselves too much and it causes chaos. And, sometimes people don't want to be in a relationship where they have to grow up and mature. Oh, I'm going to go find someone who doesn't know the truth of who I am. And in their Aquarius energy, they don't have to be an Aquarius sun sign, but in their own Aquarius energy, they could think that they shine pretty bright in the world. I'm attractive, I'm charming, I'm successful or whatever. I know. I'll go find someone who might not know the truth of who I am, doesn't know I have growing and maturing to do and that I need to have better boundaries, but you already do, and it's kind of like maybe being in a relationship with a parent. I don't want to have to grow up. I'm going to go find someone who maybe will be willing to more indulge me in my shadowy ways of being or my self-centered ways of being or my more egotistical ways of being. We have to see the truth. Not everybody's motivated by love, and not everybody who we would like to have move forward in a relationship with us. Some people could be loving, but there's someone who they could have felt like if they move forward in this relationship, there could have been something within them that said, I don't know, I have some inner conflict about this because I don't know, there's some, what is that unique thing that happens where we kind of meet someone just to either be a friend or a romantic interest that is like, oh gosh, we should hang out sometime. You don't do that with everybody you meet. There's something that kind of gets sparked within you. And some people could have thought, oh my gosh, you'd be the perfect partner and blah, blah, blah. And the other person's like, I don't know. I think if I do this, I don't think I'm listening to my intuition. And we got to respect that everybody's got to listen to their intuition. And there could be some people that aren't going to move forward with the people they're in a relationship with right now because they could have realized I could have gotten into it. It seemed great. I was attracted. But then it's like, it could just be even that we have different dreams and goals in life. You want to live in a big city. I want to live in the country. You're kind of more motivated by some of these things that I'm not really as motivated and inspired by or something, And people don't have to be shadowy. It could just be some people are like, I think there's someone in my past, for some people, that it just seems like I've got to listen to my intuition. If my intuition is telling me I can't move forward in this, then, I got to listen to my intuition. And some people, though, because some people were deceptive for some, because some people don't want to detach, they're kind of more codependent, they're more worldly focused, or because someone they did love didn't stay in a relationship with them. Some people are defensive to believing in their dreams anymore. And then there's some people who just don't want to put in the work and effort it would take to work through their own issues. And so they've just decided, I'm going to make life more about me, and I'm going to be defensive, and I'm going to make my life about trying to present myself as more higher vibe than I am, but really it is about me indulging myself in a relationship, and more about me and my ego and my image and, how victorious I look in the world. And I'm just unwilling to authentically be loving in the world. I'm just going to use my emotions manipulatively. And why do people do that? Well, I think for some of them, they're just not seeing the truth, and I don't think that's going to turn out the way they think. I think they're going to end up really stressed and have a lot of mental conflict, because if they're being shadowy, they know they're manipulating people, and they're being in shadowy Scorpio energy, emotionally shallow and superficial. And then I think it ends up, if they know they're being that way, then I think it really gets them up in their head. Even if they do get in a relationship with people who are loving and authentic, well, then they get all up in their head, because then it's like, well, I don't know. Are you being authentic? I know I'm not. Maybe you're just manipulating me. And then they have all this inner conflict and causes them all this stress and anxiety. The very plan that they, it's kind of like what a tangled web we weave when we practice to deceive. They sabotage themselves because they know they aren't being honest and authentic. Then it gets them up in their head, even when they're in a relationship with people who are being authentic. And it kind of makes me think that some of the people who were not authentic, there was either someone else they wanted to be in a relationship with, or they are more worldly focused and more driven by ego and image and money. Some of those people did get into a relationship with someone who was being authentic, but they had inner conflict in it, because this would seem to have everything I want, but I really never really wanted to do love. And I would have to work through some of my issues to stay in that relationship with you. And I don't know if this would have all the money and status and image that I could have if I did get in a relationship with someone, for some of them, particularly a Capricorn, but the devil can just represent someone who has all those things of the world. They don't have to give birth to doing anything creative and inspired and believe in themselves. I'll just go get in a relationship with someone who does. And they could have thought, I'm going to deceive people about the truth of why I didn't move forward with that person, who seems loving and nurturing and all those good things, about why I went to go get in a relationship with this person. Whether that person's high vibe or low vibe, they didn't have good intentions. For some of them, what they don't know is the person they went to go get in a relationship was just emotionally manipulating them. They presented themselves as like a loving person with Pisces and Cancer energy, but Pisces energy can be, I'm just creating an illusion. I'm actually someone who's using my emotions manipulatively. I'm defensive to believing in my dreams. And I have a lot of stress and anxiety. And I have a lot of inner conflict about believing in my dreams. So I might communicate to someone that, I'm ready to put an end to something in my past, to have a new beginning with you. And in the 9 of Cups, to be everything you want me to be, so that you'll come emotionally invest in me and come take action towards me in your Sagittarius energy. Leave behind that relationship you were in. And for some of those people, what goes around comes around. They maybe really did want to be in, for some, they really did want to go be in a relationship with that person, but that person wasn't being honest. And someone who had been being deceptive and manipulative in a relationship got deceived and manipulated by someone else. Kind of like, well, now, how does it feel? And now that you did come to get in a relationship with me, now I'm going to be defensive to you and your dream that you have. For some, they went to go get in a relationship with someone they really always had wanted to be in a relationship with. But the person who they really wanted to go get in a relationship with might have all those things in the world, but that person is intuitive and they want to be in a loving relationship. And it could be, why did that relationship end? And this person wasn't being truthful. And that person then could have become defensive to them. I don't think you're telling me the truth about why that relationship ended. And for some of them, even, why would you leave a loving relationship? Well, if it was a loving relationship, I mean, I could see it if you really did feel like that was the right person for you. But if part of the reason why is more because you're more, I don't know, practical, grounded, worldly focused, they're more creative and inspired focused, I think they should have told them the truth. But maybe some of them didn't want to tell them the truth. But some of them, it was because of the money, or I didn't think you would make me grow and mature myself like that person would, and they didn't want to tell them that. Well, I think I can be with you and be a more emotionally immature. You know? So it kind of gets hard to tell the truth if, you know, it really wasn't because I really had mental conflict and you really are the person I really want to be with. And even if, I don't know, let's just get a little clarifier on that. Tell us about the Seven of Swords. What was the problem for some of the people? Eight of Swords because of the Judgment card. Well, it might be just an underlying factor of them being in a mental prison about love. And it could be wanting to be someone who does live more from their mind than connecting in with their emotions and their intuition. And if the other person was like, you seem to have it all, it was loving, it was nurturing, they were blah, blah, blah. Are you someone who kind of is a little more emotionally detached? Well, I don't want to be in a relationship either with someone who's like that. So they could have said, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. But anyway, back to the original story. Some of the shadowy people are defensive of believing in their dreams, and they don't want to deal with their own fears, insecurities, and it all ends up manipulating them to stay repeating an old cycle where it's kind of indulging themselves emotionally, maybe emotionally indulging others who have some things of the world they want, even if that's just sex. For some, it might be money. You know, for some, it is that they don't want to be in a marriage. They don't want to have to act with character and integrity in a relationship. And they're really just pretty immature and got a lot of life lessons to learn, and they don't want to learn them for some. So let's go ask, what is coming up for High Vibe Sagittarius that they might not see coming? Oh, you know, the other thing with the Judgment card is some people don't want to stand up for themselves. They could have fear about people in their life or just the world. If they were to go live their authentic life, what would people say? I should make my life more about money and materialism. I don't want to be judged. I don't want to go with the people who are more bold and brave and creative, who kind of step outside the box and live life differently and look at life as an adventure to be lived. For others, though, it would have required them, if they already had done something kind of unjust, unfair, unloving, and were kind of deceptive and manipulative in the relationship, they would have had to take accountability for their actions. And again, the devil can be people, and the Seven of Swords can be people who kind of are, in their ego, and their ego went out. I have a certain status and image. I made a mistake, and I'm not willing to take accountability for it. So the loving people moved on. And now I kind of got myself in a pickle because I'm defensive to looking at life from a higher perspective and kind of offering myself love and compassion so I can get myself out of hell. And I'd have to admit that I had some stress and anxiety and inner conflict, and I might have done some things that were kind of manipulative, that were hurtful and unkind, and I'm just unwilling to admit it. So what's coming up for the high vibe Sag? High Priestess in reverse. The High Priestess talks about, in reverse, the secrets have been revealed. A cycle's over. People listen to their intuition. The High Priestess in the upright is about watching and observing to try to figure out why you have mental conflict and why you feel defensive in the friendships, relationships, and workplaces that you're at. And people have been watching and observing how people are acting and getting clear that, oh, these people are indulgent. These people are selfish. These people are immature. These people are defensive. These people are competitive. These people might want me to keep moving forward with them because it works for them. But I think I'm going to be left out in the cold if I keep moving forward with them, because they might be all about money and materialism, and I don't want to keep moving forward with them. I'm going to face my own fears and learn to love myself and be more independent and not move forward with those people, even though they might, we can have shadowy people on our row up here in the top just because they're in the world and in our life. Some people are listening to their intuition. They're like, nope, I'm not going to move forward with the people who might communicate to me that they want to be in a relationship or hire me or stay in that job, but it might be because they're competitive and it would be good for their ego or their image or materialistic or whatever, or they're fighting with someone else that they feel left out in the cold and they're operating out of ego. Nope, I'm going to listen to my intuition. I want to be in a relationship with people who are operating and inspired by love. What's coming up? And so the World card talks about having completed a cycle and have learned a lesson. People have been watching and observing enough to no longer be confused about the truth. And if they did have people in their life who chose to be unjust, unfair, unloving, selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical, materialistic, immature, they're no longer confused about the truth. They know the truth. And the truth is out. And a lot of other people might know it in the world too. Because the people who think, oh, I know, I'm going to be selfish and greedy and all about myself. Other people who know them when they maybe haven't acted really and shown that as being the truth of who they are, other people are watching how they're behaving, and other people who might have previously invested in them are having inner conflict or being defensive to them because they're seeing that this person is indulgent in themselves in some way and maybe kind of selfish and greedy. So the world might see the truth, You can hide the truth from some of the people some of the time, but you can't hide the truth from all the people all the time. People listen to their intuition. What's coming up? So yeah, the people might be stressed and have inner conflict about the illusion they created. They put an end to maybe moving forward with people who are emotionally independent and loving and inspired, who are loyal and committed in a relationship, because they wanted to go on a journey of indulging themselves and they didn't want to grow up and mature themselves or take responsibility to be a loving, nurturing partner in a relationship. It's like, I want to go do my own thing. I want to go indulge and be defensive. Or it has to be my way or the highway, and if they weren't indulging me, then I'm going to show them. What's coming up for the shadowy people? The Two of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Five of Wands, because of the Knight of Cups. Well, for one, I don't think what they didn't see coming is that the high vibe loving people in their life do believe in their dreams, and they offer themselves love to their own worldly inner child nature, to invest in taking the lesson they learned from this experience, to invest in their own foundation, to look at life as an adventure to be lived, and to change. The only person we can change is ourself. The fives in tarot talk about change. I did try to love and encourage people to get them to love and believe in themselves, but really the only person I can change is me, and they already showed me that they wanted to turn their back to me and have these illusions about what it means to be in a relationship, maybe where they think they can get in a relationship and then be an immature player who's maybe manipulative, prideful, and competitive, treats their partner like an opponent to defeat because it's supposed to be all about them. And the other people are having brand new beginnings. And they might be making offers to other people who've been in relationships with people who harness shadowy Leo energy to come and get in a relationship with them based on love. And they didn't see that coming. The other thing they might not see coming is that there might be someone who is willing to get in a relationship with them. But a couple ways this could be read is someone might want to come get in a relationship with them, but then they're going to be in the Two of Wands energy. Do you want to look like a shining star? Are you defensive of love? Perfect. Me too. And if you want me to work with you to make it look like a dream has come into reality, then I guess you're going to have to do things my way. And I don't plan to invest in this foundation taking maybe sexual action towards you or creative action towards you, because I have inner conflict about investing in relationships too. And it's more about the ego and the image and the status. So I'll initially create the illusion that I want to be in the relationship with you. But what I'm not showing you is I want to get in the relationship because I don't want to deal with my own inner conflict, and I'm kind of in my ego, and I could have been in relationships with people who want me to grow mature, and I'm kind of immature, so I want to get in a relationship with you to make it look like I've had a new beginning. And so then we could have two people who harness shadowy Aries, shadowy Sag, shadowy Leo, shadowy Pisces, shadowy Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And they both have a lot of life lessons to learn. And it's like, are you willing to stay in this relationship? And they might find out that being in a relationship where initially it's like, oh my gosh, this is like my dream come true. You don't want to grow up and mature yourself? Me neither. Can we just indulge ourselves in this relationship? And again, it's kind of like indulging in addictions to feel better without healing your past pain and heartbreak. Eventually, the things you indulge in doesn't solve your inner conflict. And you realize the things that you turn to make you feel better because you have a lot of stress and anxiety and inner conflict aren't solving the problem. And it's all to try to get them to see that the answer is love. And if they don't want to keep indulging in whatever it is they indulge in, if that's their illusions, if that's being immature, if it's trying to be bossy and controlling in relationships, never dealing with their inner conflict, I think it'll just keep causing them a lot of inner conflict. And also because they see other people manifesting their dreams into reality. And for some of them, it's a lot of inner conflict because they didn't tell the truth. And they created this whole illusion. And then maybe some of the people they wanted to go thought their dreams were going to come into reality with, those people were defensive to them. And some of those people were just manipulating them. And they don't want to see the truth of that. So they keep thinking, I'm sure eventually whatever those people are in won't work out. And they'll be defensive and they'll come back to get in a relationship with me. And then I can maintain the illusion that this was the person I really wanted to be in a relationship with. But I might really want to be in a relationship with them because, I don't know, it helps me maintain an illusion about why I left those people, or they have the things of the world, the money and the status and the image that I want. So there you go, Sagittarius energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, I just saw another way. This person could be under the illusion and waiting for someone to make them an offer. Some of these people are very prideful and egotistical, and they do these shadowy things, and they don't think other people will love and believe in themselves. And some of those people are just waiting. I'm just waiting for someone to not believe in their dreams, to come make me a love offer. Cool, so you're willing to do it my way, and I can be bossy and controlling and selfish and greedy, and they keep waiting for someone to make them that offer to come back and get in a relationship with them. And for some of them, someone won't come. They'll be like, I thought I sufficiently manifested and manipulated those people enough to stop them from loving and believing in themselves and believing in their dreams. I never thought they would take a leap of faith to put in work and effort to grow and mature themselves, to go get in a relationship with someone who's a true counterpart to them. Damn. So now, there you go, Sagittarius. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.